Oh, there you go. Hello, hello. Um, wait. There's so many noises happening. Uh, Unfortunately, uh, my siblings thought it would be a good idea, to do their own stuff. Well, I have stuff planned, which of course I didn't communicate with them, but that's the point. Point is, I had a plan. But now other things are happening in the house. And yeah. Anyway, hello, hello, welcome in. Thank you for welcoming to the stream. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I was in between. So here's what happened. What happened was yesterday when I created the everything for today's stream, I was like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Oh, why is everything ugh. Like How about this one? Ugh. Okay, one second, one second. I need to fix this. Ah, wait, I don't know how to fix this. How do I? What's this? Oh no, I don't want that. You can't see my cute gremlin in the corner like this. I just need to drag it. Oh, I can make it. Whoa, I have to make it a lot smaller than I thought. So here's the thing. My sibling was correct about the banner. He does not need to know that. Wait, no, I need it. You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna do it like this. I'll figure out a way to add the gremlin later. I have this one over here in the corner, so I guess that's good enough. All right. Wait, I need to focus. I hope you guys can't hear that in the background, but well, maybe maybe. Well, actually, no. I was considering doing some maybe good old fashioned fist fighting with my siblings, but then I remember one of them is like twice as tall as me, and he has been doing a lot of exercise, and he can probably take me down by just like flicking me off. So no. And then the other one also works with like lifting and doing lots of like heavy stuff, and can also flick me, even though we're kind of about the same height. So maybe not. But I did think about it though. So I guess that's what counts. Okay, so I was in between doing two things, right? Like yesterday, I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this thing, which is react to Reddit stories. Essentially, I would have my assistant find some cool stories for me to react to live. Like, I've never read these stories before, and so I asked her for a few different ones, right? So ones that are kind of funny. No, she ended up sending me two different types. Ones that are kind of funny, and then the other ones are more of like what went wrong, right? And then I will like go what went wrong in therapy, and then I will talk about like what should have been the correct reaction, or like that's a better way of handling whatever happened, right? Kind of thing. But then earlier today we had a workshop that I did, which it was making our own like air clay dragon. And I'm not gonna lie, it was actually like a lot of fun, and I wanted to finish it because I was just yapping with the artist the whole time and I didn't finish it. So right now it's kind of like it doesn't have any arms and it only has one ear. So I was like, oh, I can finish it today. But then I remember I didn't unload anything from the car, so I'm actually just gonna react to stories. Because then I don't have to like set up anything, because right over here you guys can't really see that, but there's a bunch of like piles of paper. here, and I really don't want to deal with that right now because I will have to move everything in order for me to do the air clay thing. So I'm like, maybe I'll do it another day. So I guess we're just gonna go with the original story. Wait, how come I cannot hear anything? Can you guys hear music? There's supposed to be music, like playing in the background. Oh, I guess it's just like really low. There's a lot of noise on my end, so I can't really hear even if I have my headphones in. Anyway, uh, okay. So it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna end up doing like a of the coin kind of thing. I'll choose one story from each section and then just see how it goes. Just how we sort of like feel like it. And where is it? Ah, yes. So how was your day? What did you guys do? I just went to pick up some stuff that we're gonna use for the uh, LA Comic Con this weekend. I did the air clay thing. Oh, oh, gee, is that all I did today? I'm like, I can't remember anything. TBH, I just woke up from a nap because I knew I was gonna like just stay up like later streaming. Yeah, that's I only did like two major things today, and I was like, I'm done. Oh no, actually, I cleaned the house. Yeah, I forgot about that. That takes it out of me because I hate doing it. Um, okay, as soon as I find the stories. So I've seen a few like essentially streamers. Some of my favorite streamers do this, which is why I wanted to do it as well. Which is they just read something that like somebody else wrote, and they're reacting to it with you, sort of like on screen. And they have done it was more like tea, like or like oh wait, once I saw them do like scary stories, and I actually wanted to do that, but I want to do that for Halloween. Ugh, don't even remind me about laundry. I too. Well, that's what my siblings are doing in the background. That's what's so loud on my end. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Uh, but I think it's a double whammy. Like it's just making a lot of noise, and then the other one is also reminding me that I too need to do my own laundry, and I really don't want to. But I really like. I've put it off a little too much, so hence why I took a nap when I came back because I was like, I know I need to do it. It's again like adulting. Like it's just dude, it's just sometimes it hurts how much I don't want to do it. Why can't we just have the fun aspects of adulting? You know what I mean? I know, right? Right. So I was thinking of asking our Discord community to like submit stories that they have read or the things that they have experienced for me to react to because I love a good scary story. Do I like watching horror movies or scary movies? No, I do not. But I grew up hearing like my aunts and like my mom talk about like so 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 and so it's like neighbor once told me that, and then like they will go off and tell like a scary story while I was growing up. I was just like because I was my now I realize that actually my cousins are like only like 3 years older than I am, but like back when I was like 5 or 6, they just seemed like there was a huge age gap between us. I was always hanging out with my mom, who was hanging out with like her siblings. So I was hanging out with the adults. And I think it's just in my like Mexican blood or whatever. I don't know. But I'm like, ooh, gossip? What? And it was just like they would just share stories, right? Most of it was like gossip, but every now and then somebody was starting. So anybody have ever felt like somebody like touching their arm while they were walking or whatever at dark at night, and then everybody started telling all those stories, and it got good. But then I couldn't sleep at night because then I would get really scared. But now I'm adult, I could do it probably. So I want to give it a shot and see how it goes. So yeah, I'll probably be like doing that because yeah, I don't really want to watch scary movies. Okay, okay, I got the first one. uh, Let me hold on, let me get into a comfortable position. Dude, for reals, heard of like no, it's like kind of dark where I am at right now because I have these like black curtains right here because my window faces like the setting sun, and because I live in an area where it gets like disgustingly hot, like during the summer, like all of the sun will like just come in and I'll just like be sweating while I'm working. So I put up the black curtains, so now it's kind of like dark and cozy. And yeah, yeah, but yeah, me too, me too. I grew up like hearing those like anyway. So if you were to go dig around in the middle of the night in this one specific day, like this one place, there will be appear a demon, and if you like wrestle them to the ground and or offer them something or sell yourself to the devil, then you become like filthy rich. Like like there's stories like that, and they're like, and then so and so tried it just for like giggles, and then they actually saw it and they got scared and ran away. Like it was like it's things like that like I would hear like growing up. But today we're not talking about demons or ghosts or apparitions or anything like that. Oh, but you know the one thing that my ADHD brain is just going haywire right now. I Because I wanted to read out stories, like scary stories from different countries, because everyone has like a ghost story or like a different type of like demon or monster or like scary apparition. And I just wanted to like learn more about that because I think that would be so cool. So yeah, wait 1 second, let me answer to this. Okay, okay, just here we go, here we go. I went to a therapist for my anxiety. Wait, should I read out the name of this? No, I don't think I should read out the names. I'm just gonna read the story. These are all stories that I got sent by my assistant. She found them on Reddit, and she just sent me a whole bunch of them. Okay, so the story or the the Reddit story or the Reddit comment, it starts like this. I went to a therapist for my anxiety. I wasn't ready to disclose my trauma, and in the end, I was glad I didn't, to this therapist. And I was her last appointment of the day. Okay, last appointment of the day. She couldn't wait to be done with her day, and at one point was having me read chapters out loud from an anxiety master workbook that she had told me to buy from Barnes and Nobles. I'm sorry you had such a bad experience with that therapist. They started. What? What? Uh, as I said, I kind of just woke up from a nap. There's like a lot of noise, so like my ADHD, like on my end, so my ADHD brain is went haywire. But this person just went to a therapist who I guess was visibly like tired and just wanted to end her day, which is fair, like after after hearing after working for a certain amount of hours, I think everybody gets sort of like done, like completely done with their job, which, understandable or whatever. However, when it comes to therapy, you really do have to be aware of like what your limits are, right? Because so I know that I can only see 5 people in one day before I just get like really emotionally exhausted and I'm just like useless. Or like I could have more clients for the rest of the day, but I would not be at my top best. I would just, be like a body in the room and just be like, uh-huh, yeah, right, uh-huh. But so I limit myself to only having 5 clients. However, a lot of people don't have that possibility because they have sort of like a quota to do. Sometimes people are expected to have an X amount of clients, uh, that they're working with. But having someone read chapters out loud from an anxiety workbook is kind of like a no, unless their anxiety was like reading out loud, you know. Ah, yeah, man. I kind of agree with a part of this story where I am really sorry they had like such a bad experience with a therapist. I can't really say just based on this if somebody was incompetent or not, because everybody has an off day, but still, like, that's not. I think I would have rather, because there were times where I did consider, like, if I was not feeling too well that day because I had like a physical illness or something, I considered doing like answering or like hopping into like the call, because I work from home, and then just saying, hey, I don't feel too well today, so I'm just gonna like reschedule you, and then we'll like meet each other like at another point. I do that for clients sometimes when they're like, hey, listen, they'll hop in and they're like, I like something happened and like I can't really like deal with this right now, or like I guess I'm here now, but I'm like, hey, no, look, like, life happens, and we can reschedule for like later in the week, or later in the month, if that's better. But oh, jeez. First of all, I don't really do workbooks because I have ADHD, and I work with a lot of other people who uh, also have ADHD, and workbooks are just not something they really like or find helpful. But reading it aloud, how I still can get over it. Okay, okay. Moving on to the next one. Should I maybe? So she sent me 2 different ones, right? One was like this, with like something went wrong, and then other ones were kind of funny. So I'm gonna read one of the funny ones and see if I vibe with it today. Because I might just like read all the funny ones and skip all the other ones, since my brain's. Whoa, this one's long. Okay. Let me drink a little bit of water before I read this one. This is kind of long. Okay, here I go. I've been doing telehealth with my counselor for about 4 years now, as I moved away, but still in state. One time we were talking about where a certain traumatic feeling was resting in my body, and she had me imagine breathing into the space. I started laughing uncontrollably on an out breath. We both just laughed for a bit. I know it had to do with somatizing trauma being released, but it's one of my favorite moments. Also, my dog lays next to me on the couch while I'm in session, so she frequently makes an appearance. She doesn't acknowledge anyone on the computer, but she definitely makes her presence known. Sometimes she makes some very loud balls. But why? I don't know why I try to sound like a dog at that, but it's like they spilled it out, like the sound of doggy. So kind of had to. Uh, Sounds or groans as she repositions. I absolutely love having her company in therapy. Rabbit trailing, but one time early in telehealth, she was being kind of persistent and I was pushing her away while I was upset. My therapist said, let her close to you, she might help you. And boy, was she right. I've also dabbled in training her to do heavy pressure therapy on me. This was supposed to be funny. Well, the dog was kind of funny, or I made myself laugh. So I do have a comment, like before I do like the real comments in this. I do, since I too work just doing like telehealth. It's I have this happen a lot with cats, particularly because they just like all of their owner's attention on them. So it is very, very common that if they have a cat, I have seen them at least once sort of like pass by the screen, like just right in front of the camera. Um, uh, and because I love like pets, so I'm like, oh, let me see, and then they show me, and I like, and then we compare. Well, I don't have my doggo anymore, but sometimes I doggo sit for my brother. Uh, so yeah, but it is. I think it's helpful, but it really depends, right? Because so in the story they say how um the dog leaning on them, they ended up finding that helpful because it's kind of like another presence, right? And this is why like dogs or cats or I've heard horses as well. They make such good like therapy animals because they don't really talk. They're just kind of like a steady presence next to you, and then they're like just so cute, and sometimes you just want to cuddle them and like play with them, and that sort of brings you a little bit out of it, like to center you and ground you. um duh, 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 duh. But yeah, because okay, so I was thinking about like when I'm upset, I get really I guess sense like overwhelmed with like all my senses. So having like a dog be next to me would just be kind of like a little too much for me. So I wouldn't necessarily prefer that, but a lot of people uh do, right? Like having like someone to hug or to touch or to ground themselves um would be good. All right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do one on one. Okay. So, what do you all think of the story so far? Have you guys ever like? Do you guys have a therapy story that you would like to share, or like an experience that was either really funny or not what you expected to happen in therapy? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, let's see the next story. What? Oh, that's a picture. Oh, these are pictures. What the heck? Wait. Oh, I have to click one. Oh, this one's tiny. Okay, let's read this one. One of my first therapists was an older lady. One time at the end of her session, she let a fart slip. It was loud and it stunk up the whole room. She didn't even say excuse me. So glad my session was ending so I could just get out of there quick. Okay, listen. We're all human. Things like this happen, right? If you like are hypersensitive to like like a specific sense, then it might be more for you or whatever, right? And I think if that was me, I would like really awkwardly acknowledge it, because so, or this is also part of like the style of therapy that I do. But I want to let whoever I'm working with know that I too can make mistakes, right? So I always use phrases in my session along the lines of, let me know if I'm wrong, or here's my theory, here's what I think, right? Because I don't know everything about them. I have like theories and guesses, and like I have seen, similar patterns with like other people that had similar experiences, but that doesn't mean I'm like, an expert on everything. So I do expect people to sort of like correct me, and to know that I don't have all the answers, but I'll be there to work with them and support them uh through their journey. And something like this happening, I would be like, my bad, but it was me, and maybe let's like get out of here, both of us, so we don't have to like whatever, but I mean, it's really sort of like a preference for how you want to handle that. But I think some sort of acknowledgement would be nice, I guess. How would you react? Like, how did you typically react? Because this isn't just like a therapist kind of thing. This is like it happens to everyone. Like, how would you react if you were talking to someone and that happened? Like, would you acknowledge it? Would you just try to get away from there and like never talk to them again? Like, go like live deep in the forest and like like what would you do? Okay, so oh, bro, dude. Okay, okay. Listen, so somebody in the comments said that they their therapist always prescribed going to the gym even after they express their dislike of going to the gym. And I'm like, bro, saying it wasn't a therapist, it was my uh, my psychiatrist. They were just okay. Their point was I need to do some sort of fitness, right? But they want me to do a very specific type of fitness that I'm kind of like, no, I don't. I'm not. I have zero interest in doing that. And every time I go, they mention it, and I'm like, bro, like no, like I have ADHD. That sucks for me. I hate it. Like I will try to do something else, or like do it something differently. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that I kind of like emphasize too when I'm working with people, is that because this is something I emphasize with myself, there is always because okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna drop some lore about my background or by own experiences. So I have ADHD. I've said it like 20 times in the last 20 minutes, I think. And I find a lot of things boring, or like I really have to force myself to do certain things that I just don't find interesting because just my brain just doesn't like it. And then so when I have to do something like uh anything that has to do with administration or like cleaning the house, things like that, I have to re-enchant it. So like I have to add music, or I have to have somebody to chat with as I'm doing it, because otherwise I just can't focus. I can't do it. I don't get the energy to do it. uh so wait, what was it going with this? Great, I totally blanked now. I totally forgot what I was talking about. Okay, well, maybe I remember in a little bit. Oh no, yeah. So because of that, and because I kept forgetting things, I have to make things interesting, right? Or I have to find a different way of doing something. So whenever I'm working with someone and they mention like, well, I just don't really like, meditating, or I you know, doing some of the suggestions that they say, just like sometimes you can tell in people's faces when you suggest it, and they're like, I don't want to do that, or like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And I'm like, listen, even if you are interested in doing it and you end up not doing it, that's fine. Like we can practice it like in session, because things happen, where like you were really wanting to like do the homework that that your therapist said, or practice the things, but then you forgot about it, or a lot of things like you were just really busy and couldn't find the time. I think that's normal. That's like, it happens to all of us. So finding an alternate way of doing something, I feel like it's really important. Like just being able to think outside the box and find something that you enjoy doing more, right? So for example, if you told me that you don't really like going gyms, I'll be like, okay, well, did you know there's like a person on YouTube who does like um exercises to like music, like different types of music, and they it's an exercise. It gets your heart pumping, but like you're just kind of like dancing to like a soundtrack from like a movie, or like the newest album of like somebody or something, right? Or you can go around the block like walking a dog. Is It's another way to get exercise. There's like a bunch of like different things that we can try. And I mean, for me, it just started because I just need to make it interesting. So then I encourage people to do the same. Like, find a fun way of doing it, or something that fits more with like your lifestyle. Because I too don't really like going to gyms. Eh, I tried a few times, but then I'm kind of like, but then I have to wake up early and then go all the way over there. And then I even tried the whole like, showering at the gym and then like heading to work. And I only did it for like a week and a half. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. I can do this. I couldn't keep it a routine. uh, but yeah. Yeah, 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 like gardening, right? Like, no, listen, I've heard. Okay, so the comment was that walking your dog or doing yard work helps, like in fitness, and I was like, yeah, that's why I was saying that I was kind of tired today, because I did like clean, like I cleaned my house, and actually there was this one study that I read a while back where I think it said that uh people who work like just do like chores for like 30 minutes, that is sort of like the equivalent of you like going to the gym for 30 minutes, because you are like walking around doing stuff, like you're just being active, right? And a lot of the times it's doing very like repetitive, like I was just thinking about like sweeping and mopping. It's like you're doing like repetitive work, so you're getting like your muscles, at least it's starting, uh to do something. So yeah, that's good. All right. So let's choose another story. Let's go with the long one this time. Oh no. This one starts by saying traumatic experience. Oh, wait a minute. I think this one is a continuation of this other one. What the heck? Or maybe not. What is going on? Okay, this one has like a bunch of like smiley. Come here, please. Juggle came to say hello. Um, this one has like smiling faces, so maybe this one would actually be funny. Let's see. A relative of mine was telling me about a friend of hers that had a therapist that lit up a cigarette during the sessions and proceeded to vent about her own issues. Made me feel like my own imposter syndrome really wasn't all that bad. Okay. Bye, please. um uh Earlier I did say that I have a style where I try to, I guess, humanize myself as the therapist, because sometimes people feel really shy, or like they feel ashamed of admitting certain things, right? Because that's what they were led to believe by everyone around them, or like maybe society, or maybe their anxious brain was like, you should whatever whatever, right? And then so I have to encourage them to not feel like that. um but I think this is a little too much. uh it's like lighting up a cigarette during a session. It's almost like me being like, you know what, I'm just gonna like drink some alcohol right now and like chill. Like I say I do like to be calm and chill, and as much as I can be myself during the sessions when I'm working, but not to the point where I'm like, yeah, let me just, you know, pick up a cigarette or like start drinking alcohol. Like, no, I don't do that. I drink water. I do share stories about my own life or like my own struggles as they pertain to what we're talking about, because that is the way that I communicate best, as I've learned in the past few years. So it's again, ADHD brain is very difficult for me to communicate clearly and concisely certain things, and it's just a lot easier for me to give an example of what I'm talking about. And I also, like I said, encouragement to say this is a safe space and things are normal, right? So again, a lot of the times I say, hey, because I'm very open with the people that I work with, talking about how I too have anxiety and ADHD. So I say things like that. Oh yeah. So uh so here's a funny thing that happened to me one time. I I have my own therapist and I have my own psychiatrist, and I have a few like appointments and things that I need to do. Everything is sort of like all in my trusty handy calendar, right? Because if I don't have it written down in my calendar, I am not gonna forget. I am not gonna remember I have that, right? So my therapy sessions also go in my calendar, and one day I showed up a day early to my appointment because I put it in the wrong day when I scheduled it in. So I showed up and I was like, oh, I have an appointment with so and so. And then they're like, yeah, but you have it like tomorrow. And I was like, well, at least I made it in time. But yeah, like things like that happen, right? And I'm like, yeah, like it's just like ADHD brain. Like sometimes, mistakes happen, oopsie doopsies happen, and it's okay. And then so I hope that that encourages them to also talk about like, how their ADHD impacts their like day to day, or their anxiety or depression or whatever. um Wait, wait. For a second, I read the comment as being my cross country coach in high school would smoke while we ran, but I just in my head he was running with you guys while smoking at the same time. Would he? I don't see. At least maybe it's just the the places that I frequent and stuff. But I don't see quite as many people smoking these days. Do you? As like back in the day. Or perhaps, there are like countries. Okay, let's see if I can find one of the long ones. That one's not that long. This one. There's one that kind of doesn't finish for some reason. Oh, it doesn't start at the beginning. Wait, nope. Da-da-da. This one's one of the long ones. Mm. Okay, I was just trying to see if it was something that I wanted to do like online or whatever. um and then I kind of started reading it. And then so now I feel like I have to read it to you guys. So the the comment is making other group members urine drug t- do urine 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 drug test in front of each other, telling group members that the therapists were enabling them by allowing them to be in therapy without making progress with their substance uh, use disorder. Um. uh, Okay, first of all, probably on very highly unethical. This is also illegal? I feel like it should be. Like you can't. No, you can't do that in front of each other. And I think it also like it sounds like it was like another therapist or another maybe staff member talking about the therapist. And I'm like, substance use disorder is something that it is it's not like you going to the doctor and they're giving you like one medication or one pill and then your tummy ache goes away. Like that's not how therapy in general works. And when it comes to substance use, like it's a lot of the times too, like you have to consider like the physical consequences of that use or addiction as well. So it's not something that can happen. And also relapse is it's a natural part of it. It is bound to happen. But just hearing this, it's just, i hope I hope this doesn't happen as often or to like other people, because dude, that's not okay. Jeez. I can't I'm just like really upset about this. Like, just in general, like nobody should make you tell you anything like this in front of other people, for like at all. Okay, nobody should ever tell you this at all, and doing it in front of other people, I feel like makes it even worse. All right, here's another one. I had one therapist who wouldn't believe when, after I disclosed a family history of alcohol and drug abuse, that I didn't also abuse alcohol and drugs. He kept insisting that the once a month drink I had while playing poker with friends was really a lot more, and I was just hiding it. I left and never went back. When I was in college, I had a therapeutic friendship. When her life changed, she got married and had a child no long after. She disappeared. I can understand why, but how hard would a conversation had been? Uh okay, this I might my brain might just be completely done for the day, but huh? Cuz like okay, let's break it down. Let's break it down. So the first one, or the first paragraph, was about how a therapist didn't really believe them when they said um that they didn't really use or drink alcohol, and kept insisting that they did. And then I'm like, why would you do that? Like, did they I'm not gonna say completely like right on 100% that this therapist was wrong to say this, right? Well, maybe of keeping insisting, yes, because if they already said no, then you kind of have to go with it, even if you have suspicions that they are not telling you the truth. Why would you sort of like continue to bring it up? Like, this one's kind of like a weird one. You guys ever seen House? He just had a very, let's say, darker look of life, and he always assumed that his patients were lying to him about something or other and weren't telling him the complete truth about things, which, because it was a show, it happened to be true. And sometimes there's a few things that are like we forget or we don't consider to be important when we're asked about this, or when we're asked like a very open-ended question of like, is there anything else that you think would be helpful for me to know, or anything else that you struggle with or whatever. Like, it might not even come across to them as something that they need to do, but just sort of like, because you're like the social, yeah, you're essentially like isolating your client and pushing them away from wanting to come back to therapy. And then, like, I think the problem too sometimes is that this person will go out to their community and be like, yeah, no, therapy is like dumb, or like it doesn't even work, or like I once had a therapist, blah blah blah. And then like it spreads to other people, and then I'm like, I hear that, never going to therapy, and also not really understanding how therapy works. And now I have all these misconceptions that I had from like TV or just from like other people talk about it, and be like, well, I don't want to go to therapy if this is what's gonna happen. Like, not only this, but I've heard like some of my family members also talk about how when they went to therapy, their therapist wanted them to just cry. But it was more of a like cry right now, like forcing them to like cry, not like providing a space for them to cry. So yeah. And the second part of this is kind of weird. Let me read it again because I think it's like a different sort of like story. It says, when I was in college, I had a therapeutic friendship, but that's in quotes, okay? So I'm kind of like, what? And then when her life changed, she got married, had a child not long after, and disappeared. I can't understand why, but how hard would a conversation have been? So I'm guessing it was like more like a peer, like maybe like peer support or something. I did that when I was in college. That's the only thing I can sort of like think of. Unless their therapist describe the therapeutic relationship as a therapeutic friendship. But that's, I've never heard that before, and that sounds kind of sus. So I don't know. I hope it wasn't a real therapist. Um, there's this one that sounds like it could be like a really good one, but I don't have the whole story, so I can't read that one. Okay. Here's another one, all right, or potential other one. Um, eh, I had my first session with the student therapist at my university, and I really needed to process a recent breakup. I dove right in and divulged a ton of sensitive and personal information about my ex and another person uh, relevant to the story. Once our time was up, I was expecting a see you next week, but instead she said, I feel like I should tell you that I have a conflict because I know these people. Okay. OMG, what? I was stunned. My mind shot back to all of the really intimate, potentially embarrassing things I've told her and just couldn't believe it. I still can't believe she let me continue once she recognized who I was referring to. All I can think is that getting the scoop was just too juicy and tempting because this is like ethics 101. I'm already a really traumatized person, and therapy is supposed to be a safe. What is it? Uh, I lost my. Why was I reading? Oh, and therapy is supposed to be to be safe. So it was a traumatic experience. I initially felt shocked, but okay, and said I wanted to reschedule. But I think I was in shock because as time passed and I thought about it, the more upset and angry I got. I trust her and had completely let my guard down. I felt betrayed, foolish, and taken advantage of, and righteously outraged. The more I thought about it, and less okay I was about things, and I knew that I had to speak to her supervisor. Oh, wait, let me see if this is the one that sort of like continues. Oh yeah, yeah, it does, it does, it does. Okay, talk to. I didn't want her to get into a lot of trouble, but what she did was fucked up and needed to never happen again. Her supervisor was cool, appropriately concerned, and said she'll address it. The silver lining is that I wound up getting the therapist I wanted. The woman who done my intake, and I had an immediate report, and I could tell that she was enjoying talking to me as much as I her. I left the intake kind of wishing that she could be my therapist, so that was a kismet. We had great, easy conversations, and she just got it. And me, she wound up being one. of two absolutely amazing therapists, far and away better than any others I've had. And she was with me working my way through an abusive relationship. I loved her. She was an awesome lady. Huh. Hold on. I need like a minute to process this. I think. So the whole like the story started with my I had a first session with a student therapist. Not to be mean or bash, but student therapists are um they're new to it, right? So they may be a little bit awkward, or they might not be like the perfect therapist, or they might not get things right away, or they might need to refer you out to someone who has more experience with, to help you process the things that need to be processed. Hello, hello, welcome in. I can't really like see who joined, but welcome in. We're I'm reacting to reading Reddit stories that people talk about uh, their experiences in therapy, and then I just sort of like, I guess, react or give my perspective as a mental health provider as well. So come on, join us. Come on in. So in this one, uh, so they had a okay. So again, student therapists. We again, therapists are all human. We all make mistakes. We have our days off, right? That's why it's essential that you have a therapist that you're comfortable with. So if they have a day off, you're comfortable letting them know, hey, right now or like last week you kind of had a day off and they made me feel uncomfortable or whatever, right? Because we also need to be aware of our own behavior. Sometimes we're just, like not feeling well or a little too tired than we thought, and it happens. So um so having someone that you can communicate with is good. And also it doesn't have to be like right away, like with them face to face. It can be like in a like an email. Well, at least I encourage my the people that I work with to do that. And I'm like, if you don't feel comfortable telling me to my face, you can like call the office and let them know that you would like to meet with someone else, um or you can let me know by email or whatever, because I'd rather they quote unquote like fire me and find a therapist that they're comfortable with than force themselves to stay with me and like just kind of end up hating therapy, right? um but yeah, so I think the correct thing in this situation, uh I know one of you guys just kind of like joined, so I don't know how much of the story you told. So I'm just gonna summarize it really briefly. There was this person that went to see a student therapist, and they basically poured their heart out, and then the therapist was like, I think I have a conflict of interest, just so you know, because I know all these people that you're talking about. And then they just felt very frustrated and angry, and they're talking to the supervisor of that student therapist, which I think one is the good thing to do. Right. I think the student therapist should have stopped them once they started hearing the names of people they were familiar with, and say, hey, maybe we should end it here, or just so you know, you can continue and I'm fine with it, but just so you know, I know all of these people, right? And also I kind of had this sort of like, I thought that if you were a student therapist, you were working at a different school. So for example, let's say I go to school A, I wouldn't be doing my practice hours at the same school. I would be doing it at school B, because like you can't, like, all of these people, and it's just, especially if you are like a new therapist, it it's really difficult. Like, I know there's therapists out there like in like smaller towns, or cities where there's not a lot of people with, or it's like a very rural area, where they end up like just seeing like the grandmother, and then like a grandson, and then like the mom, like different years or different times or whatever. And it's just because no one else, like there's no other option, kind of thing, right? So you have to really, again, you have to know your own limits as a therapist, and also as the client. If you're not comfortable going to the same therapist that your grandmother or your family members have gone to, you can seek someone else. Now, it's not always possible because, again, if you live in a very rural area, there might be one or two therapists, and that's sort of like it, right? Now, fortunately, we are able to do telehealth, which is like doing it online, but I know a lot of people still prefer to do in person. But again, like, you kind of have to be aware that they might know a lot more about your family than you do, but also as a therapist you need to be aware of how to manage that as well. Yeah. Wow. All right, I want to give you my snack now. Okay, now I feel like it's time for you guys to talk to me. What are you guys thinking about all these like crazy stories? um again, I just do hope that a lot of people don't really experience this, or it doesn't happen as often, which I know it's probably not the case. but but why though, man? So I'm having a peach as a snack. What do you guys like? What do you have, like, favorite fruits? um it's getting like, it's starting to be season for my favorite fruits, like oranges and mandarins and peaches. I love them. Raspberry, wait, when's the season for raspberries? I know they're always super expensive. They are very, very tasty, but so expensive. When's raspberry season? Let me see if I think that's all the oh, strawberries and raspberries and matcha are also really tasty. Raspberries and chocolate. Chocolate and anything go together really. Listen. Chocolate on something is kind of like an ingredient, you know what I mean? Like it's a like an ingredient of stuff. I I agree to that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think I read them all. Yeah, yeah. So, man, unfortunately, it looks like I read all the stories that I had that my assistant sent over. But you know what? I story wise, yes, I read all of them. However, well, actually, plums. I really like plums. I'm like over here talking about having two different conversations at the same time, which my brain loves. But I'm like, I wonder what it sounds like on the other side, because there's so much going on in my brain right now, and it all makes sense and it's all connected. Like the other day, I think I was doing this, like, I was just kind of, I call it like body doubling, like, but like, but during the stream, and I was just kind of listening to music that I don't think people in the stream, like watching the stream, could hear. So every now and then I would like break out singing like a sentence or like a phrase and then go back to being silent. So um I don't know what other people see. Yeah, my brother got a bunch of like plums, and he's been eating them all because I don't really like them as much, which I guess works for him because he loves them. Mhm. Okay, now I have like I thought about the songs I was listening to that one day, and now like I feel like I can hear like now like it's looping in my brain now. I was gonna do something, but I think I'm gonna save it for later actually. Because I have these things that I call yeah, earworm. Well, no. Yes, I do have an earworm, but that's not what I was gonna. No, again, two different conversations at the same time in my brain. um uh I have these like examples of things that I hear in the therapy session as a therapist. And I call them therapy horror stories. But I think I'll save those for October. Maybe I'll do another react and then talk about these. I have 4 of them that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I think I'll save them for October for spooky month because I don't have a lot of like spooky things I wanted to do in October. Also, um, since at least I know at least one person is part of our Discord community. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, please, I highly encourage you guys to do so because we are having a jam-packed month starting October. Like it's gonna be so many cool things. um and oh yeah, anyway, I was asking, I know at least one of you watching is on our Discord, and I wanted to do like a special sort of like event for like Halloween or something. And I did say like maybe reading scary stories from like different countries and stuff, or have people submit things for me to react to. Why am I like, just talking too much? I'm like drawing a breath. um uh so that's one thing, and obviously watching a scary movie is probably a must because why everybody be loving, like they're like horror lovers in our Discord, and I'm like, well, why? It's scary though. So yeah, we'll watch a scary movie, not sure yet. But I was wondering like what else can we do like, for like spooky month. I was wondering if you guys had any like suggestions for that. Let me see if I can really quickly. So whenever I don't really have any ideas, I do this thing where I Google it or like chat GPT it. But for the most part, I really like using Pinterest as well, especially for more crafty kind of things. I tend to like that a bit more. Um, Wait, okay. Wait. The Night Stalker or the Night Crawler? Because oh yes, costume contest. Wait, let me write that down. That's a great idea because I do have a lot of like freebies that they're just taking up space in my house, and I'm like, I need to get rid of these. So yeah, that's a good one. But okay, so listen. I about like 3 months ago, somebody for the first time ever said Nightcrawler to me, and apparently that's a like a local legend or something. And but I've never heard about it before until this year. So I don't know. Like, is that like, or is this like, or the Night Stalker like a different thing? Oh, Night Stalker. Okay, it's a different thing. All right, cool. Whoa, wait. But you can share. Don't share it here though. Write it out, and then I can react to it next month. Yes, yes. Wait, costume contest. Ooh, and then maybe we can shoot them on stream. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Write it down, and then have other people, like, if you guys know anyone, or you yourself have experienced something kind of spooky, write it out, share it, and then I can react to it or read it out for our spooky month, or our spooky scary or spooky stories. I'm going with spooky so I don't scare myself. But really is I really want to do like a scary stories reading, which will be in like during the morning time, because I am reading scary stories at night. Heck no, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Watch like 3 or 4 movies after I read all these scary ones, so I forget about it. Wow, there's nothing good on Pinterest. Wow, okay. So I like I'm looking on Pinterest for all these things. And then they have like this Halloween phobia matchup game. So it's like 20 different phobias, and you have to match them to like their definition. And I'm like, I don't even know any of these except arachnophobia, because that's what I get. Oh no, Sinner, man. I was like, every time like you guys do like we watch something like really cool, I really wanted to watch Sinners, but I thought it started at 8 p.m. our time. So I was like, I'll be able to make it. But it didn't. It started at this like almost at the same time as this other thing started. And then I was like, hey, maybe I'll watch half of the movie. And then when I tried to log in, I like screw everything up for everyone. Because I was trying to do some like log in or like join the call using the same account that was streaming it, because my brother was using my computer from home, and then I took my laptop and I was going to use that to try to join. But yeah, I actually was really excited for that. So I think I haven't had a chance to ask, but I think the other person had to leave, right? So you guys didn't end up doing the Q&A afterwards? So right now we're just kind of like trying to figure out, like, I already ran out of like stories to read, so I'll probably end the stream pretty soon. But yeah, but first I wanted to pick your brains and ask you if you guys had any ideas of like cool things that we can do in October for like spooky month. Costume contest was one of them. Like people submitting their it, it didn't have to be like it doesn't I think it doesn't have um to be like from this year, but if you have like a cool costume that you use for Halloween at one point, or maybe like a really good cosplay, you can submit a picture of that, and then we'll have people on the Discord vote. I feel like that would be cool. I just need to go through like all the stuff that we have to see what's an appropriate winning prize. Because doing it for bragging rights is cool and all, but I feel like there should be a little something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, with time, more people end up joining us. Like once we start doing more activities on Discord. I know also what makes it really difficult is that we are on like different sides of the states. So, it's yeah. Would you guys ever consider going on like a ghost hunt? I wouldn't. I'll be too scared. Unless it was in the morning, then maybe. And with like a huge group of people. But still, like because again, I'm like scaredy cat, and my anxious brain already like over things. So I don't know. I feel like no, no thanks. Spooky podcast. Oh, that's a good idea. We can have one day to listen to like a spooky podcast. No. Listen, okay. So I grew up the first like 9 years of my life. I grew up in Mexico. So in Mexico there's cemeteries, like just like anywhere else, there's cemeteries everywhere. But in the cemeteries in Mexico are spookier because I grew up there and I hear people talk about how there was like scary things that happened there, right? So I was like, nothing's. And again, my imagination just will run wild, right? And then so I just generally didn't like going to like cemeteries, or like that one particular cemetery that was next to the town, or where I grew up. But when I was doing I worked in Indiana for about a year, and when I was there, one of the other therapists that was like a local was telling us that for fun kids will go to like graves because it's well, Indiana is one of the states that I guess has the longest history when it comes to the United States as we know it now. And so some of the graves are very, very old. And then so people will get like grab like a piece of paper and then like with a pencil sort of like scratch it over so they can read the name that was sort of like inscripted there, because like time had sort of like eroded it away. And they would like go and do that and just hang out in the cemetery at night. And I was like, no thanks. Like, what? That's scary. No, like I feel like that's so disrespectful to the dead, and they will have the right to hunt me for the rest of my life. And I'm like, no thank you, I'm okay. But I guess if you grew up in an area where the cemetery was just like part of the neighborhood, then yeah. But wait, have you been in a ghost hunt before, like a cemetery crawl? I mean, I already said like no, I would never. But have you, is the question. No, no, You can also get a medium to wake up the dead. I would die of a heart attack. Just even considering that I was around something like that trying to happen. No thanks. I'll be scared for the rest of my life. I would never leave my house. I would never leave my room. I will have to be attached at the hip because too scary. Uh uh uh. For funds? No. Well, I moved to the US when I was about 9. So I didn't really grow up in Mexico, but I feel like if I had grown up in Mexico, there would have been things like dares, like I dare you to go to the cemetery at night, like teenage kind of things. But even if I were to have grown up in Mexico, it would have been like, I'm cool, thanks though. I'm gonna go home now. Fake an illness, never come out again of my house, have no friends. Would have been preferable. No, like you wouldn't have. But still, too scary. Oh, that's a great. You're full of Hey, share all of the ideas. That's another great idea. Yes. We can do two actually. We can do like a movie monster, like Frankenstein and like La Llorona and like things like that. And then we can do another one where it's like I guess the killers of like scary movies like Jason. I don't know any other ones because I don't watch them, but I can Google them, right? Oh, the Eat Clown. Wait, what's that one scary movie that I watched? I like wiped it from my memory. Totally forget him, but he was another clown. Killer Clowns from Space. Never seen it. I know nothing. No, that's not what I watched. Um, I watched. What's the name of the movie? What the heck? Hold on. I live streamed because it was part of the thing. So I watched it like live on stream with other people. Um, let me see. Where's the skin? Oh, it was the Terrifier. Yeah, there you go. You got it. But what's the clown? Something with an A, is it? Ace. No. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he can be one of the ones that we vote for. Any other brilliant ideas? Again, you're packed full of them, so I'm just gonna pick your brain. on my ideas. So I'm writing everything down that I want, right? And you're coming up with like all these great ideas of like listening to a spooky podcast, doing like a cosplay contest, or like like Halloween costumes. And then over here I'm like, we can do coloring pages. And the other one is like, what if we play emoji Pictionary? Which would be cool. Um but yeah, this is why I benefit from asking other people what their ideas are. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing that. Spooky painting. So I think it's October 12th. Wait, let me see. Because I just talked to the artist today about it, and yeah, it's October 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's when we're having the our first art class online. So I did want to ask the Discord community what, because it's going to be on Discord only, because it's a Discord thing for the community. However, because we are trying to pay the artist and do a little bit fundraising as well, the art class will be a $5 donation. Is what we are trying to do for that. But yeah, we can definitely do that. I will put it up in the Discord community in the next week or so, for you guys to vote on what specific spooky thing you would like to learn how to draw, and then the artist will come into it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Pinterest doesn't have anything interesting. Maybe I need to remove the spooky. Okay, let's see. Online activities to do for Halloween. Let's put Halloween. What would be a good movie to watch for Halloween? Like scary movie. Hello, hello, welcome in. I just kind of finished with the react to the Reddit stories, because I guess I didn't. It looked like a lot, but I guess there weren't that many. And I went to them relatively fast. So now we're trying to decide what cool activities to do on our Discord for Halloween. So far, we have listened to Spooky Podcast, show. Oh wait, no, that's my note. Do a cosplay contest, coloring pages, because I like that, and a tier list of which movie would do that. Too many to name. Gotta start choosing at least your top 4 favorites, so then we can we'll probably, like, this is something that we'll also put it up to vote for the Discord community as well. But we need at least 4 or 5 movies to like start with, and then we can narrow it down from there. I wouldn't mind going like classic and watching like Scooby-Doo. Gasper the Friendly Ghost. Or wait. There has to be a poll online. Best scary movie to watch on Halloween. Okay, the first one. No. Okay. This is what Google AI suggests. All right. Wow. Actually, Google AI was kind of listening a little too closely, because it gives 4 horror classics, 3 modern horror, and 3 that are Halloween themed. So here's what Google AI says. For the horror classics, John Carpenter's Halloween 1978, The Exorcist 1973. I would never watch this. You guys can watch it on your own, but that is scarier than anything. The Shining 1980. I've been wanting to watch that. Yeah, okay, maybe A Nightmare on Elm Street. I can I can probably watch that. Anyway, so modern horror, it suggests Hereditary, Get Out. Oh, I've been wanting to watch that actually. Did Jordan Peele also do Hereditary? No. Who did this one? No, it was Ari Aster. No, that's different. No, but The Exorcist is the scariest. Like, how did you fight a ghost demon thingy? You can't fight it. You're stuck. And to me, because I grew up Catholic, that's like the scariest thing. And spiders. That and spiders. For Halloween themed ones, it suggests Trick or Treat. To it's an from 2007, an anthology, and then the Blair Witch Project 1999. I feel like that one will also be like mega scary for me. The Nightmare Before Christmas. All right. I'll watch that one. That's probably the only one I will watch. Because all the other ones are, well, actually, Get Out I will watch because that's more like psychological horror, and I feel like I totally can get behind psychological horror because I find it like interesting, even though I would like dislike it very much. But at least I can like sit through it. Obviously, The Nightmare Before Christmas, or like those like not really scary movies, I can sit down to watch. Potentially be able to watch Hereditary. Yeah, like Blair Witch, I don't think I'll be able to like stand it. The Shining, again, probably, um, probably be able to watch that. Like anything that's more like the Halloween series, I'll probably be able to do that as well. Because for me, again, the scariest thing is like ghosts and like spirits and stuff like that. Um, although there was one that I kind of wanted to watch, and it was have you seen La Llorona? Like they have two. They have one that is like an animated one, and then the other one is um it's more like a real people person one. But yeah. Actually, maybe we can use these ones right here that AI suggested. Well, if nobody suggests anything, which I hardly doubt, well, I guess we'll just go with that because I don't really know like horror movies, or whatever. But okay, this sounds good. Like Hocus Pocus, I could totally watch Hocus Pocus. Monster House, Caroline Corpse, Casper the Friendly Ghost. I can all of those. Yes, of course. The Adams Family. Yep, all over that. Haunted Mansion. Yep. Charlie Brown. Christmas. I mean, Halloween. Yep. Watch that all day, every day. Nothing else though. Wait. Okay. It's too late now. I mean, it's too late in the day to start discussing more scary things. I think we should be. I think that should be good. That should be good. But yeah, definitely if you guys end up watching this outside, like not like as a live stream, then you can still write your ideas in the comments. Well, for the YouTube video, I don't know, you can really do that for Twitch. But yeah, you can head over, or like you can join our Discord and you can vote and you can make suggestions there as well. Because as much as I don't like scary movies, these events are not necessarily just for me, they are for the community. So of course we ask you guys what you want to do. And also, if you would like to make suggestions or like be here live, I highly recommend that you follow us and like stay tuned, because I my schedule is very very hectic. I am sort of like the boots in the ground for Psychology for Geeks, so I'm the one sort of like organizing all of these events. Thank goodness for my assistant, because now she is taking over a handful of the events that we have planned, so then we can do more and like in different locations as well. But yeah, but as of now, it's just kind of mainly me, so I don't really have like time to do it all. And also ADHD. So usually my streams, or like whenever I do live streams, they are like decided like the day before or something, or like I'm just like, oh, this is something interesting, I kind of want to live stream. So it's kind of like, yeah, just I think it's just best if you just sort of like subscribe and follow us, and so you know, or you can watch the VODs. That's also cool. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits for today. Thank you so much for joining me, or thank you so much for making it to the end of this video if you're watching later afterwards. um I think the next one, I don't know when I would do it. Maybe not necessarily this week, because I do have to prepare for a convention that is happening at the end of this month, this week, or next week, technically, and might not have like quite a lot of time. But I am trying to do a bit more live streams. And if there's like a specific live streams that you want us to do, yeah, again, write it in the comments, let us know, join our Discord. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Like, subscribe, follow. I think on Twitch you can subscribe to us and it will be like on a discounted thing, and like all the money, it doesn't go to none of it, because it's just still from the non-profit side. So if you subscribe to Psych for Geeks on Twitch, you are essentially paying money. Or you can connect your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch, and then you can, because you're given one a month, so you can do that, and then we get paid. Amazon gives us money, and all the money that we get, it's essentially just being used to, like I said earlier, like pay the artist for special art classes that we have online, or to like buy prices for like the contest and stuff like that, or to hire people to do stuff, so we have more opportunities to do things either in person or online. So yeah. But also, if you're like, I'm kind of poor because the economy, understandable. Just you guys watching and participating, that is actually very very helpful as well. Invite family and friends to also come and watch, or to join our community, so we have a lot more fun together, because we can brainstorm and geek out together. So yeah, and no, that's about it. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and don't forget to reframe and re-enchant your life. Bye.